In 3, 2, 1.
From New York to Hollywood, London to Chicago, over the years I've interviewed some of the biggest stars, gone behind the scenes of the hottest shows, and had rare access to royal insiders. Join me as we open the WFTV archives and take a step back in time. This is the Video Vault. Hi, I'm Martie Salt, and in this episode we're diving into the make-believe world of daytime soap operas. They actually started on radio in the 1930s and transitioned to live television in the early 1950s. They got the name soap operas because the first dramas were actually sponsored by soap manufacturers. The soaps were never more popular than they were in the 1970s and 80s, with All My Children and General Hospital being two of the hottest on TV. So let's open the Video Vault to 1988, when I took a trip to the fictitious town of Pine Valley, home of All My Children. Our story begins here in New York City on West 67th Street. This is the studio where All My Children is taped. For my assignment, I'm told to arrive by 9:30.
Hi, I'm here for All My Children. What's your name? Martie Salt.
By the time I check in, some of the actors have already been here a couple of hours, rehearsing, or in the case of Darnell Williams, who plays Jesse, or Taylor Miller, who plays Nina, catching up on lost sleep. And there are plenty of places to do that. You are looking at most of Pine Valley. It's all housed in these dozen or so sets. There's Jeremy's studio, the Pine Valley Bank, Nina's living room. I went looking for Erica's house, but found out it wasn't set up since she wasn't working today.
Clara, do you remember that's where you take your coat off?
This is known as blocking. The actors run through their lines while the director figures out camera angles. While the actors wait for the director to block their scenes, you're apt to find them rehearsing lines, either by themselves or with each other, as in the case of Jean Leclerc and James Mitchell.
I want to thank you for considering me for such an ambitious project.
Well, I'm off to the bank. Is there anything you need on that?
No, everything's in order.
I woke up Taylor Miller long enough to ask her about her TV pregnancy.
I mean, you can look at it in just soap opera terms and just think, okay, if Matt and Nina are happy, therefore it must be Cliff's baby, you know? Or you can think of it as Matt and Nina just being happy and it's going to be Matt's baby. But that doesn't leave us very much of a storyline.
I came here searching for the story behind this Pine Valley cast of characters. Would anybody tell me what it's really like? And most important of all, was Susan Lucci anything like Erica? These were my answers.
This is the happiest set. I think the less temperament that is displayed by the stars. I think that's probably a bottom line. And I've got to give Susan Lucci a lot of credit because she sort of sets the tone, I think.
I have a good deal of fun, yes. I have fun, well, with the people, of course, the other actors. It's a very nice company, very compatible, no, very little fighting.
What size does she wear?
Susan is a perfect size 4.
A perfect size 4.
These are Erica's closets for her perfect size 4 clothes. They're kept in this office under lock and key. Each character has his own closet, and they line the hallway. The wardrobe budget is a secret, but you get the idea from these Bergdorf Goodman charge slips. In fact, most of the clothes come from Bergdorf's or Saks Fifth Avenue.
When you don't want them anymore, what happens to them?
Well, there is a dead storage place out in Long Island City. It's a big warehouse, like where all the soap opera clothes go when they're dead.
So can the general public buy these at outlet prices?
No, I'm sorry to say.
From wardrobe, I went to makeup. I figured this soap business isn't so tough. This is just a matter of the right look. Scott Hirsch is one of the makeup artists for All My Children. He told me all I needed was a little contouring around my cheekbones and jawline.
So you're saying I can go get a job on here now?
Oh, yeah. Piece of kid. Are you kidding me? You look no problem.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
As you just saw, I got a peek inside Erica Kane's closet. Unfortunately, the daytime diva wasn't on set that day, but later I did get to ask Susan about that massive wardrobe and what she thinks about Erica.
Let me ask you, what do you enjoy most about being daytime television's hottest female vixen?
Oh, thank you. Well, as I'm just lucky I play one of the best parts ever written for a woman, and I mean anywhere. I'm not just talking about daytime or nighttime. I mean film or plays or literature, anywhere. I play a terrific part. And I've wanted to be an actress since I can remember, literally, since I can remember. So I'm very lucky that I got to grow up and have my dreams come true. I'm doing what I always wanted to do.
Did the character of Erica start out the way she is now, or did you start out with a different personality? Because you've been with the show a number of years, since the early 70s. Did she evolve this way, or what?
Well, I think that she was all there from day one. I remember the audition scene, and I just thought what a fabulous character. She was a 15-year-old high school girl when I started playing her, so obviously there were differences, and she was the girl who never went to study hall, who got a pass immediately and went to the girls' room and changed her hairdo. She always wanted everybody else's boyfriend. She's playing in a much bigger arena now, and she's playing with people just cut from the same cloth she is.
Jack, I am certain that she has been plotting my entire downfall since the moment she left town.
Erica, I doubt very much that Dimitri is siding with her. Look, I know you demand 100% attention from the men in your life, but does it have to be retroactive? I mean, the man can't have a phone call with somebody that used to be in his life long before you even came along?
Jack, I did not come here to have all my faults categorized in front of a total stranger.
No, you came here to rant and rave because things aren't going just exactly the way you want them to go. You've decided to face the enemy head on and you're looking for troops. Well, count me out.
Jackson.
A couple of quick questions that viewers would just want to know. One is, your character now is pregnant. Are you really pregnant in real life?
Oh, am I really pregnant? No, I'm not really pregnant. That's the first thing my little boy wanted to know, too.
I bet he was confused. And what do you do with all the clothes that you get? Are they made or bought strictly for you? Do you ever get to take any of that stuff home? Do you ever get to wear it later, or does it all go into a wardrobe department?
Well, it doesn't go into a wardrobe department. All my things are bought or made especially for me, and they're kept under lock and key in our costume designer's room.
There's more to come with the Queen of Daytime. I caught up with Susan Lucci again in 1991.
Well, probably you won't work in television because you have dark eyes and dark hair and olive skin.
The unusual casting call that helped her land the role of Erica Kane.
The Video Vault continues with Martie Salt.
There was no bigger daytime star in the 1980s than Susan Lucci, who played the iconic Erica Kane on All My Children for a remarkable 41 years. It took her an unbelievable 19 nominations before she finally won her first Emmy in 1999 for Best Actress. I met up with Susan in Los Angeles, and we talked about family, work, and all those famous Emmy snubs.
Well, you gotta go where the action is, Mona. Isn't that right, Erica?
When there is any. I mean, Pine Valley isn't exactly the corner of Hollywood and Vine.
No. Well, I've been on that corner. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
I was out of school for about 5 months when I got the part of Erica. I had done a film for an independent producer in New York that summer, a few weeks after I got out of college. And I had continued to audition and got parts in plays and didn't get parts in some other plays, and you know.
What were
like
they
that.
looking for at the time, and what did you do in that audition? Do you remember?
Well, it was, let's see, it was a case where they were looking for a very specific type, and that was unusual at that time for me, because when you're an ingenue, just starting out, you see everything. You know, you see tall red heads and plump redheads and big blondes and short blondes and brunettes and everybody. They're just kind of looking for somebody to do something to them. But in this case, they really wanted somebody dark, and that was unusual in itself, because I had been told that
They want a raven-haired type.
Yes, and dark hair, dark eyes, and even olive skin was okay. In fact, when it got down to 2 of us, the other girl and I had the same coloring, so they definitely wanted somebody, you know, who was dark and raven-haired, as you say, and that was unusual, because mostly at that time, it's not that long ago in terms of history of life,
yeah, right.
and
in terms of history of the world.
Not that long ago, and people were saying, well, probably you won't work in television because you have dark eyes and dark hair and olive skin, that you had to have at least blue eyes, or you would probably never work in television.
So, have you seen any of those people to send them letters? Send them little thank you notes?
So I got very lucky. Agnes Nixon and the executive producer were looking for somebody who looked like me.
Well, obviously it worked. You know, I have to bring up Susan 12 times. 12 times. I mean, is there a point where you just want to say, hey, don't nominate me anymore unless I'm going to get it?
Oh, no, I just don't feel like that. I really am happy to be nominated.
When they don't announce your
excited.
name, what do you feel
well,
like?
I feel bad. I wish it were me. I'd love to win. But it's not me, and life goes on, and I love Erica Kane. I mean, I do feel so lucky. I never feel like I didn't win. I can't explain it to you.
You still go back to the best job in television, as you say.
I feel that way.
Have you always gone in every year with something in mind to say in case you won, or did you quit that long ago, or did you ever do that?
Oh yes, I always have had in mind something that I might like to say. There have been so many wonderful people in my career. I must say after the 9th nomination that I didn't actually write any more speeches down. I just think about it sometimes towards the end, because if that happy time ever came that I were to win, there would be so many people, I wouldn't want to forget anyone.
What do your children think of you being a celebrity mom? And are there pitfalls or problems that you encounter being a celebrity mom? Do your children ever complain about the fact that mom's always recognized? When we go out as a family, people are going to be coming up to you and asking for your autograph.
It's an interesting question. I probably will never know the answer for the next 10 years at least, you know, or 20 years maybe. I think what we all in my family don't like the most is the separations. That's what's hard. The hours are long, and when I go to do another project, this is the part I am the worst at, is not all being together. I hate the separations, but it's part of being an actress, and so we try to keep them to a minimum. But that's the bad part. As to the other part, is it hard being a celebrity mother? I don't know any different.
Other way.
You know, I've been lucky actress in that I've worked since I got out of school, but I have spent my entire adult life in front of the camera. And so I really don't have anything to compare it to.
Susan played Erica Kane for the entire 41-year run of All My Children, which ABC canceled in 2011. Well, there's more to come on the Video Vault. No daytime TV wedding has ever been bigger than that of Luke and Laura on General Hospital in 1981. I sat down with Genie Francis to ask why she quit the soap at the height of her fame.
Separating from General Hospital, leaving the show, is the most painful separation I've ever experienced in my life.
The Video Vault continues with Martie Salt.
Welcome back. And you know, the highest rated hour in soap opera history was November 17th, 1981, when signature super couple Luke and Laura married on General Hospital. In 1990, I met Genie Francis, who played Laura, and I asked her why she stepped away from her beloved character in 1984 at the young age of 19. At the time of this interview, she had jumped to a new role on All My Children.
She's a little different than what I usually play. She's a bit of a bad girl. So it's fun for me to do something. It's such a departure for me. I've been sweet and innocent for so long, and you know the hazard with that is that I tend to get bored with my own work, and this is really keeping me on my toes. It's great for me.
Now, why don't we talk about the real reason that you asked me here today? Yes, let's do that. The university. Goals. Let's talk about vision in fundraising. I'd rather talk turkey. We are two busy ladies, and neither one of us likes to waste time. And I think we both know that the only reason you asked me here today was to discuss Jackson Montgomery.
Now, do you have a romance with Walt Willey, the guy who, who does he play? He plays
Jackson.
Jackson, that's right. So is this, I heard rumor to that effect.
I know, everybody's heard that rumor.
Well, that's because he was in Orlando a few weeks ago, and that's what he said.
Well, that's where the rumor
came
started.
from. That's right.
We did a couple of episodes together, but I'm not sure that that's what they're going to do.
Really? And they don't tell you?
Well, I'm not sure that they know right now
is that right?
who I'm going to end up with.
I, Laura Weber Baldwin.
Take thee, Lucas Lorenzo Spencer.
Take thee, Lucas Lorenzo Spencer.
9 years ago, you were on the most publicized, you were in the most publicized wedding in television history. Was that a very heady experience for someone your age? I mean, you were very young then.
It was overwhelming, truly overwhelming. It was too much too soon for me. You know, I've just begun talking about this, so it is a little bit difficult for me, so bear with me. But it really was it's a bittersweet memory. Separating from General Hospital, leaving the show, is the most painful separation I've ever experienced in my life.
Why did you leave? I don't know. I just remember you weren't there anymore.
I was there, then I was gone.
You had this big wedding, and then you weren't there a little bit later.
Right. Well, I said at the time that I was tired, that I needed, that I wanted to go to school and all this sort of thing. I sort of smoothed over the question, but the truth of the matter is I was really having an awful lot of personal problems. I was a very messed up little kid. They really wanted me to be an adult at a time when I wasn't.
Were you just a teenager or a teenager then?
Oh yeah, I started when I was 14. And I left when I was 19. The popularity began when I was about 16, really. And they took me out of school. I had been a straight A student. And they took me out of school because they wanted to be able to use me more on the show. So now I was not at all connected to my peer group. I didn't have any friends my own age. I didn't date. All the normal kind of adolescent development, social development, which is a very important phase of adolescence, I didn't do. It was like, okay, you're a kid, now you're an adult. Act like an adult and be on time and ready and take all this pressure and be on the cover of Newsweek and deal with it. You know what I mean?
And it's like, how?
Right.
You become a property, a product.
That's what it is. The career and the success became more important than me and my life. You know, and that was a painful experience.
Genie Francis actually returned to GH several times over the years, and currently she is once again a major player in Port Charles. Well, we've seen the queens, Susan and Genie, and now it's my big shot at stardom. I stepped in front of the cameras on 2 daytime dramas in 1986, and you don't want to miss the beginning and the end of my soap opera acting career.
The Video Vault continues with Martie Salt.
Now, while I was doing these interviews and going behind the scenes, I was given the chance to play a part on 2 ABC soaps, Loving and General Hospital. So I learned my lines, rehearsed, then off to makeup and wardrobe. So take a look at how it all played out and pay special attention to that sincere soap opera stare.
I'm going to play a nurse, and my part calls for 6 appearances and 4 lines. They are, what happened, come right here, I'll get a doctor, calm down, dear, and yes, doctor. Let's see how it goes. My day began like the rest of the actors, in the rehearsal hall.
Help! I need help!
What happened?
He fell down and broke his crown.
I'll go get a doctor. After a few pointers and the addition of an extra line, we moved to the sets to rehearse there and allow the camera shots to be assigned.
Help me, please. I need help.
Oh, what happened?
He fell here. He fell and hit his head. Right here.
Oh, well, come right in here. Thank you. I'll go get a doctor. You're going to be sick of these lines by the time the show finally airs this afternoon.
And then when you come back, you be right off the
corner?
more off the corner.
Okay. A few pointers, nothing drastic, and we're done with this rehearsal. So time to get my costume.
Slip. Blouse. Yeah, this blouse. And this skirt.
Do they wear the clothes? Do any of the actors ever wear the clothes twice?
Many times.
Do they?
They do. They wear them twice and 3 times.
Then I go to makeup. Now, the difference between just being an extra and actually having lines is right here. Extras don't get their makeup and hair done. Believe me, this is a luxury. We don't even have this at Channel 9. Now, as you'll be able to tell, this is my first professional acting experience. But I thought some of the pros could give me some pointers. What pointers would you have for me?
Pointers, gosh. Stay out of the way.
I think the best thing is to listen and watch as much as possible. If you've never done this soap opera before, because when I first did it, that's the way I learned, because I'd never done a soap when I first came on.
2 very important things. You listen and you talk to somebody. Don't act in a vacuum. That's the most important thing. If you can really pay attention to what's being said.
The other actors?
Yeah. To their expression, to everything. Just focus on them. And then when you talk to that. Then you're way ahead of the game.
Lauren, for somebody like me, I'm coming in, I have under 5 lines. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. Do you have any pointers for me?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about being serious about your acting, I mean, first of all, you have to keep quiet around the set, obviously.
We have one final dress rehearsal, and then it's time to go for the real thing. By the way, up until the actual taping, we rehearsed this hospital scene with a teddy bear instead of the real baby who will actually be used in the scene. So we were told if the baby cries, just keep on going. He did, and we did.
It's okay, honey. Oh, thank God.
He fell?
Yes, he fell and he hit his head.
You're his mother?
No, I'm his stepmother. Please, will he be all right?
All right, just a minute. That's fairly deep. We're going to have to suture, all right?
That's all?
It's all right. Well, I don't know until we get some x-rays. Okay,
It's okay.
Might be a fracture, it could be a concussion.
Oh, God, no. It's okay, honey. But what does that mean? I mean, is he going to have some sort of brain damage or something?
Now, let's not jump to conclusions. I'll clean and we'll suture right here. Hey, what's your name?
And I wasn't done acting. A few weeks later, I made it over to the set of General Hospital, where I played an air traffic controller. A warning here, don't blink.
It's regulation. I'll have somebody check his locker just to make sure that he didn't leave it behind.
Oh, could you get back to us as soon as possible?
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for all your help. Eric will see you out.
All right,
Thank you very
Well, those assignments were a lot of fun, and I actually got paid for them, if you can imagine that. Now, a funny story here when those trips were being planned. I, of course, told my mom and dad that I had this role on the soap opera Loving, and I was going up to New York to shoot that, and, you know, that was okay. And then it was a few weeks later that the thing came up with General Hospital. So I called them again and said, hey, I'm going to be on General Hospital. I have a role. And at this point, my mom didn't quite know what to make of it, and she said, well, now, Marty, are you leaving Channel 9 to go into acting? Is that what you're doing? Well, no, Mom, no, I'm going to do a story. Well, you know, we all hear these stories of these young girls going out to Hollywood and they get all caught up in the Hollywood scene and, you know, and it just ruins their lives, you know. No, Mom, I'm just going to go and play a role. Well, I hope to goodness that that's all it is, because I'd hate to think that you left a good job and went out to Hollywood to just pursue whatever, you know. No, Mom, it's good. So I think it was probably like 2 years later, after I had returned and had been working consistently, that she finally realized that I was not leaving Orlando for an acting career in Hollywood. It's time to close the video vault for now. Until next time, I'm Martie Salt, signing off.